Hi everybody, it is 2:59. We are about to start the Cadette New Cuisine live portion of our virtual programs. I'm going to apologize in advance if you can hear a screaming child. I thought I heard a bad noise and went and checked on my son, and now he's screaming. So, wonderful. So I'm going to start with today by prefacing, hi Terry, by prefacing that the cadet level obviously is relatively new to cooking. So especially with one of the recipes that we're doing today, please make sure that there's an adult with you. We are using the stovetop. We don't want anyone getting hurt, so I will make sure I let you know when certain things are happening, or if we're about to use the stove. But so for the new cuisine badge, since our programs are typically about 30 minutes, I have chosen two of the steps. One of them is cook a food from another country, and the other is cook a food from another part of the United States. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll talk about the food first. Hi! Thank you for joining us, Callie. We're excited to have you. So the first recipe that we're going to do is Spätzle, and that is a German noodle. I love Spätzle. I grew up in Germany, so I'm very excited to cook it. I have not cooked it. I've not made Spätzle since I was in 7th grade, so about the age of cadet level girls. So it's going to be a learning experience for me as well. So bear with me just because it's going to take me a minute to remember all the steps. And I will also be glancing at my recipe, which is on my computer. So you'll see me looking back and forth. So the reason I chose Spätzle, because one, it's a German food. And I love German food. It's a German noodle. So what we'll do first is we will make the dough. And what you'll need is, I'm going to read the ingredients off. And what we'll do is after this video, I will upload the recipes in the comments in case someone wants to try them after the fact. And then you can post pictures and show me your delicious dishes. So we'll go ahead and do the Spätzle, and then we'll talk about the second recipe when we get to it. So for the Spätzle, you'll need 1.5 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of water, 2 eggs beaten, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 chicken bouillon cube, and if you have, like I have the powder, I didn't get the cubes, so that's about the equivalent of a 1/4 teaspoon, and again, I'll double check that before I edit, and actually, I'm going to go ahead and start the water and get it boiling. So you'll need 6 cups of water boiling on the stovetop, and you'll add the chicken bouillon cube or the 1/4 teaspoon like I already said. So I'm actually going to set you down, and hopefully you don't fall because I don't have a stand. So I've got, I don't know if you can see it, I've got my stove right here. My pan is going. It's got 6 cups of water already in there. And then, like I said, I have chicken bouillon granulated powder. And even on the back, like I said, I'll double check. A bouillon cube is the equivalent of 3.5 grams, which is about 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to go ahead and the chicken bouillon goes in the boiling water. Well, the water that's boiling. Wait. Okay. See, I said have patience with me, you guys. I'm going to double check my reading every single time. This might be a little longer than 30 minutes. So the first step is combine flour, water, eggs, and salt. Beat until smooth. And then it says add bouillon to 6 cups of boiling water. So I'm going to go ahead and make the dough. Make the noodle dough first. While that is working on boiling. So I went ahead, I put my flour in a bowl. I already measured out my 1.5 cups of flour. So I'm going to set that right here in front of me. Water, 3/4 cup of water. So I already measured that out as well. So when you're using these, make sure that when you put water in, that you set it on a level surface, and you want to look to make sure that it's at the right measurement. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my water. Then you'll need 2 eggs beaten. So I have not broken my eggs yet. So I have a separate small bowl and my 2 eggs. And I actually use a fork to beat my eggs. Some people use a whisk. I don't like using the big whisks unless I'm making a lot of eggs. So I have a fork. So put that to the side and just quickly crack my eggs. You want to make sure, I always have a Walmart bag near me to put my garbage in. As you hear, my glasses just all mixed together. So I've got a Walmart bag to put my eggshells in. What are we making? We are making Spätzle, which is a German noodle. So crack my second egg, mix it. So I've got my 2 eggs. And if you've never beaten eggs before, you just simply, it's just right in the wrist. And you're just gonna beat it together. Okay. So you want your eggs to look something like that. Oh! And I spilled it right into the bowl, thank God. Can you tell I don't do this often, you guys? I love to cook, but I don't do it. I let my husband do it. He can make me all the things. And it's always good to have stuff to clean up with, just in case you miss the bowl by a hair. How do you spell that? So Spätzle is Spaetzle. Hi, Haley. I love you too. Okay, so I've got the flour, water, and egg. The other thing I need to add is the salt. So a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is right. So again, as we learned, I'm a klutz, so I'm going to do it just slightly over the bowl. And so I've added that. So now we're going to combine that together with my big whisk. So again, just like we beat the eggs, just slightly. I always start slow because of the flour. You don't want to get it everywhere. So once it starts turning into a dough-like mixture, that'll make it easier. So like, I don't know if you can see it. I want to make sure. So you can see that it's starting to take a dough form, and you just want to make sure that it's beaten really well together till it's smooth. You want to make sure you get everything off the sides of the bowl. And if you don't like using the big whisk to get the side, you can always use a spatula just to make sure it's clean. Sometimes it's nice to have a cooking partner when you have to do this, just because your arm is going to get really tired. So, okay, so it's starting to get smooth. Again, I really don't want to dump it out like I did the eggs, but I'm going to keep mixing it until it's really smooth. I want to make sure I get all the clumps of flour that are wanting to stick to the outsides. But now that I've gotten it pretty much smooth, I want to check my water. It's starting to bubble, but it's not there yet. So while we wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what other stuff you're going to want to have ready. So you'll need a colander. So Spätzle is a noodle that just, they're all unique, depends on how it goes in. So you'll use a colander, and you'll take, what we're going to do is once that water boils, we're going to take about half the mixture that we've just made, and we're going to put it in the colander and push it through with a spatula. That way, once it hits the water, it'll start to cook. So, and how we'll know the Spätzle is done is once it floats to the top of the pan, then we'll use a slotted spoon and we'll take it out and put it in a separate bowl. So I'm actually, I have my bowl ready, and what's going to happen once we have it, we're going to toss it with butter and parsley, and then we can add Parmesan cheese, which is really nice. How do you know when it's smooth other than there's no clumps? Truthfully, that's pretty much it. There's no clumps. If you want to use a mechanical hand mixer, you can. That might make it easier on you. And it obviously beats it better than if you were to whisk it by hand. Like I said, I have weak arms, so I make my husband do all the things that require whisking. But you want to make sure that it's thick. So like you can tell that this is getting where it's droopy like that. That's about the consistency that you want to have. So I've got, the water is almost at a boil. And I tried to start the water early so we wouldn't be waiting on it. Apparently I didn't start it early enough again. So now, and I'm one of those people, I reread, so let me explain why I double check so much. My family makes fun of me because I made this one time, I wanted to make lemon bread, and I didn't read the instructions thoroughly, and instead of, I can't remember if it was teaspoons or tablespoons, but instead of either way, I messed it up. Instead of 2/3 teaspoons or tablespoons of salt, I added 2/3 cup of salt into the bread, and it tasted awful, obviously. So I always double check. I'm like really paranoid. So if you see me double checking throughout this, that's why. Because I don't want another lemon bread fiasco. So, okay, so now that that's at a boil, we're going to take our chicken bouillon. Like I said, if you have a cube and it's easy, just drop 1 cube in. Otherwise, you'll need 1 teaspoon. See? And again, look what I have. Oh, no, I have 1 teaspoon. I thought I had a tablespoon. Gotta double check. So, you have 1 teaspoon, and you're going to just dump that right in your boiling water. And then the fun part. So now we're going to take the colander and the dough. And truthfully, I probably should have a partner for this, but my husband's watching my son. So, I wonder. No, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to eyeball it for now. I'm going to pour half of the dough into the colander over the pan, and then I'll grab the spatula and push it through. I thought about setting it on there, but I don't trust it. So just pour about half the mixture into the colander. So there we go. Now I have my spatula, and I'm hoping you all can see this. I can't tell if you can or not, and just start pushing it through, so it's going to just kind of drop right into the pan. Spätzle does not have any certain type of shape, so it's going to just float at the top. And I'll pick up my phone in a second and kind of show you what it looks like. I'm going to do that for now, and then just kind of set this over the bowl for a second. And I'll just hold it with my hand. So I'm going to pick you up real quick and show you what's going on in the pot. So that's what the Spätzle's looking like right now. So you can see it's kind of clumping together, which is, it happens. It's not a bad thing. You're much better at cooking. Oh, well, thank you, Becky. That's really sweet. But honestly, if I could have just made a menu of German dishes, I could just cook German food all day. And let's see, and always make sure you're prepared. I have nowhere to set this colander that's clean. You know what, we'll just do a sample and then we'll go on to the second recipe. We're just gonna do that. We're gonna make a slight change of plans. So, you'll want a slotted spoon, and you're just going to kind of check on it, and as it floats to the top, so I'm actually going to show you what it's looking like. Sorry for all the really up close. So, you can see it's already floating at the top. So when I pick it up, it's not done yet, but it's getting really close. Got really one big clump there. So you want to you don't want it all clumped together. There are going to be some clumps though. But when they're done, they look typically they look like a beigey yellow color because of the chicken bouillon that's in the water. So what we'll do at this point, which I'm going to use a shortcut. You'll want 3 tablespoons of butter melted. So again, I didn't think, and I forgot to leave my butter out. So I have my 3 tablespoons of butter. It's going in the microwave, and it's going to get melted. So while that is doing that, the other toppings that go on Spätzle are parsley. If you want parsley, you don't have to add it. I personally am not a fan, so I have it just because it's part of it, and I'm going to put it on there because I'm going to make my husband try it. But Parmesan cheese is the main thing that goes on there. Cheese. We love our cheese. So, okay, it needs a little bit longer. I underestimated how unmelted my butter was. So I'm going to check on the Spätzle again. Kind of stir it because it's starting to bubble up there. So we can see that it's almost done. So I'm going to go ahead and while we're finishing up the Spätzle, so one of the other steps of the New Cuisine badge is cooking something from another part of the country. So I thought, well, we're cooking a noodle from Germany, so let's do a dessert. And so what I chose to do, and it's kind of, it actually originated from France, but a beignet. I thought of Louisiana and Mardi Gras, and they're beignets. They're like a powdered donut. So this is really where adults make sure you're with your girls, just because it's going to involve hot oil in the stove and safety first, always. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to take the Spätzle out that is floating toward the top. We're going to finish the Spätzle real quick, and then we'll get started on the beignets. So I'm actually, and this is what happens. When I cook, I'm very all over the place, especially if I'm cooking more than one thing at one time. So I'm actually going to start melting the butter for the beignets while those finish up. They're not exactly done yet. And then, so beignets, like I said, they originated in France. They came to North America through Canada, and then I guess made their way down. Yay! So excited that you love beignets. So what you'll need for a beignet is 2 cups of water, 2 sticks of butter, 2 2/3 cups of flour, 3 eggs, a half teaspoon of salt, vegetable oil, and powdered sugar. So the first step for beignets is the vegetable oil, and you're going to bring it to a medium heat. I am not going to do that part just yet, just where we're still going to mix the batter, because I don't want to have oil in my kitchen on the stove, also while I have spätzle on the stove. So I'm going to save that step, but we're going to go ahead and heat the water, which is 2 cups of water, and the butter in a separate pan till the butter is melted. So I have my stove, so I've got my 2 pots ready. The back saucepan, that's where I'm going to melt my 2 sticks of butter and my water. My 2 cups of water is already in there. And then the front burner is where we'll actually cook the beignets in the oil. So I'm going to stick you back on my little makeshift stand. And as you about fall over. Don't do it. Don't do it, you guys. So go ahead and that's 1 stick. Gosh, the spatula, see, and I can never, spätzle smells so good. I'm really going to have to make the rest of the dough after this video. Oh my gosh. So, I mentioned that I have a son. He's almost a year old. He'll be a year old next week. But he loves knobs. So we have a gas stove. So, there are these handy dandy baby things on there, and apparently it's Morgan proof because I can't open it. Okay, nope, I figured it out. So, okay. So I've got that back burner going to, are you all okay? I've got the back burner going to melt the butter in the water. And as you can see, the spätzle's almost done. It's all foaming. So I'm going to go ahead and move the spätzle over here. So put that in the butter and we'll mix it all up and not gonna lie, you guys, it's been a while. Like I said, I've not made it since 7th grade. I don't think they're done yet. See, the recipe didn't tell me how much time. So, I'm actually gonna Google. When in doubt, Google. And see how long the spätzle should cook. Because all it said on my recipe was wait till it bubbles, like to the top. But spätzle recipe. And hey, that's cool. There's a spätzle press. It's pretty impressive. That way you don't have to use a colander. It says cook 5 to 8 minutes, drain well. Okay, well, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes because I don't know how long it's been in there. So we'll go ahead and start the beignet dough. So, beignets, the donuts, what my son will love. So, the water and butter is in a separate pan, melting, well, working on melting. Mix salt and flour in a bowl. So, I have my handy dandy other bowl with my 2 2/3 cups of flour. And salt, we needed half a teaspoon. Where did my salt go? Okay, so we're just gonna mix that in with the flour. I had another whisk once upon a time. And we'll use a spoon. It'll be all right. So we'll just, and again, if you don't want flour all over your kitchen, don't get too excited when you're mixing. But just stir the flour, make sure the salt is in there and spread out. It's not just dumped in one spot. I always try to sprinkle it over the whole entire bowl, like through the flour before I mix too, just so it doesn't all end up in one place. Okay, so now the next step is going to be, once the water and butter has melted, we'll be able to mix it in with our flour. So a lot of people will kind of make a bowl in their flour to dump it in, just to make it easy. And if I was thinking, I would have done that before throwing my spoon in the sink. So pregnancy brain has got me all kinds of just everywhere. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pour. I'm not going to turn it on, but I'm going to pour the oil into the pot. Everything's interchangeable, you guys. I'm cooking this on high. I don't know. Okay, so vegetable oil for your beignets. You're going to pour, it says 1.5 inches, into the bowl. Keep saying bowl. The pot. I need a nap. So, like I said, I have this one pot. Okay, so that basically was, so in the pot I used, which might mean that I should have used a different pot, that was my entire thing, which I'm only going to cook a couple at a time, so it'll be fine. I'm not going to overwhelm it. So, while we've got multiple burners going, and I don't know about you all, but it is hot outside, and now it's hot in here. So, have your AC on, have some windows open. It's hot. So my butter is melting, so it's making progress. We'll go ahead and check on the Spätzle again. Okay, well, it's starting to look a little better. It's not looking how it looks in my head. So, do you ever have that problem when you're cooking? Like, you have an image of how it's supposed to look like how you've seen it on TV, or how you've seen it in a restaurant, and how you remember it. And it's like, okay, it looks a certain way. One of the fun things about cooking, it's never gonna look all the same. So, just throw those ideas away. The Spätzle does not look how it looked when I ate it in Germany. So I'm like, am I doing this wrong? But I followed the instructions. You all have heard me go back and double check every single time. So I have followed the instructions. Still doesn't look the way I picture it. So, it's just one of those things. You're gonna have to roll with the punches. I'm gonna stir the butter and water. As long as I don't fall to my death. So we have this table in the middle of our kitchen. That's where I'm working. And I've got you propped. So I'm walking around when I need things. I tried to get everything I needed beforehand, but Julie, thank you. Yes, I'm not alone. That's all that matters. So all I'm going to say is double check your recipe the morning you want to make it. And if there's anything that needs to be left out, put it out. Because I'm pretty sure my butter would already be melted if I had left it out like I should have. So, because that's the only thing left we're waiting on that. So I'm just going to go ahead because I feel like the Spätzle has been in there long enough. Let me show you what I'm seeing, okay? It's disappointing, but at least it's food. Becky, you and I are going to be best friends. So this is what I'm seeing. Do you see it on my ladle? So you see the one that's really yellow in the middle? That's how I picture it in my head. My burner is on high. And do you all have a favorite burner on your stove? Because I do. And it is my bottom left, the one closest to me. And so I'm feeling a little let down, like I'm going to have to break up with my favorite burner because it's not it's not making me feel too great. So well, I'm gonna go ahead and we're just going to wing it because it looks, it's just gonna have to, we're gonna wing it. And you know what, guys? I'm gonna eat it once it's done, once we've mixed it with the cheese, and I'll add parsley. And I'll let you know. Be like, hey, this needs to cook longer. Don't dump it on the oven. So make sure you're being careful. And normally, I'm going to say this, if I ever do a live in the kitchen again, I'm going to have someone else watch my son and make my husband video it. Because I already said it to you all multiple times. Safety first. And I feel like I'm not setting the best example. You know what? I'm just gonna, we're gonna turn this one off. Because I feel like I have enough spätzle in the bowl. And we'll just kind of go from there. All right, the butter is almost melted, and then we can make beignets. So, we have parsley, and we have Parmesan cheese. As you get to see, my entire kitchen behind me. I'm not going to put a whole lot of parsley in there, just because, again, it's not my favorite thing, but I'm going to try it. So, I put a couple flakes in there. That's what it looks like right now. It's probably going to taste like a lot of butter, because I didn't cook it all. Of course, I forgot to open the Parmesan cheese. That happened. Okay. I'm just gonna dump some Parmesan cheese on it. We're gonna mix it up. I'm already gonna tell you, I'm probably not gonna. So maybe it's the butter that somewhat adds the color to it that I was missing. Maybe. Great job. You know, I like supportive people like you, Lynn. I'm over here thinking, this is not a good job. This is not how it's supposed to look. And thank you for the encouragement. I'm one of those people, I can definitely laugh at myself. I'm so not even worried about it. But, yeah, guys, I'm not happy. I can tell you, this is not how it's supposed to look. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to taste it. And you all can say great job, but you don't have to taste it because it's here with me. And I'm going to hopefully not choke. So, let's see. Well, that looks like a nice little piece. So, that little piece, it's got some parsley on it, some cheese. I had way too much Parmesan cheese. But it actually didn't taste too bad. So that's nice. But that spätzle definitely need to cook longer. So 5 to 8 minutes, I would cook it longer. Make sure it looks solid. Not like that. And we're going to go to the fun recipe now. Cheese will... Okay, Lynn and Becky. I don't know where you are, but you're my new best friends. So I turned that burner off, so we're done with that. Move it away. What? So I've got the butter and water is done. So we're going to add it to the recipe for the beignets. Now I am going to go ahead and get the oil going for the beignets. You want it over a medium heat. So I'm using, oh, you guys. Now I really need some beignets. I need this goofy spätzle taste out of my mouth. Okay. So I have my melted butter and water. And we're just going to pour that right in with the flour. And then that saucepan can immediately, if not sooner, go to the sink. And then I'm just gonna stir this with a spoon for now. Oh, this smells so good. Now I need to log back into my computer because my recipe went away. So again, where you do still have flour in this, make sure and you have hot butter and water, but you don't want to make a mess. You don't want to get burned. So just be slow about mixing it. Make sure that it gets mixed consistently. It's starting to look like dough batter, which is nice. I really need a whisk. If you have a hand beater for the, well, if you make spätzle and beignets back to back, which I highly doubt you will, but if you do, either have 2 whisks or use a hand beater for one of them, because I feel like I'm missing a whisk. Ah! I knew I had another whisk. I win. So much easier with a whisk. So it smells like dough, which makes me excited because that's how it's supposed to smell. I love when things happen the way they're supposed to. Except, you guys, this is more of just, let's be honest, everyone makes mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. Look where all my dough is. Stuck in my whisk. I need a spatula. If anything, I have brought you all smiles and laughter today. You all can just remember Morgan, the girl who attempted to cook and can't. Oh. So let's see. Get this out of here. There we go. It's all about improv, you guys. Make it work. It's fine. Gosh. I'm not even gonna tell you what I just did. It's fine. Alright, so I'm just gonna go with the spatula now. Rubber spatula is always good to go. Yep. And that's what I'm doing now. So, like I've said 1,000 times, my husband cooks. Not me. I don't do it. I like to think that I can do it, but as we're learning, that's apparently not the case. I should make a Facebook show. Morgan attempts to cook. Frozen pizza? Done. Fish sticks? Got it. Anything out of the ordinary? Nope. Yep. Becky, your mom was smart. Me, I didn't pick up on it. Alright. So, now that I have mixed salt, flour in a bowl, remove water, did that, we pour into mixing bowl with salt and flour, mix ingredients to a dough consistency, which is where we are at. Add each egg one at a time, beat into batter. So maybe that's where the whisk should have come in. Noelle, you're so sweet. If you were here with me, you would not say the same thing. I mean, I guess technically you're here with me virtually, but if you were here to witness the chaos of the kitchen and that which I will have to clean, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So this is my dough. Okay, so it looks doughy. We're good so far. So now I need to add 3 eggs, one at a time. I already have them out. Got my 3 eggs. So you want to make sure you don't get any shell in there. That's the worst. No shell. right into the garbage. Gosh. See, this is... Nope, don't do the whisk. I didn't. I'm folding it in. I'm folding it in with the spatula. I've learned my lesson, Sierra. I have learned. So, just one at a time. I was going to try to put you back. You know what? I'm going to put you here on the table where it's stable. Hopefully nothing will happen to you. So, okay. So again, just like I wanted to do but forgot to do with the flour and salt before I poured it in, this time I am going to try to make a little bowl to dump the egg in once I get it broken, if the dough will cooperate with me. And the recipe did say, which my dough is looking great right now, so I don't think I'll need to, but you can add flour as needed to keep it at a dough-like consistency. As of right now, I think we're good. So this is egg 2 of 3. Right there in the middle. And make sure when you're dealing with egg, you should always wash your hands, especially if it goes anywhere other than the bowl. Lucky for me right now, it's in the bowl. It's not on my hands anywhere. But you should always wash your hands because you don't want to get, egg is one of those things with salmonella, raw egg. You don't want to get sick. So make sure you're always washing your hands. You should always wash your hands. I mean, I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing about washing their hands, but with everything going on. But you should always wash your hands before you're cooking. You always want a clean cook space because you want your recipe to taste good and not like gross things. So wash your hands, clean workspace. All right, we are getting there, people. A little bit more, and then we will mix one more egg in here, and then we should be ready if the oil will heat. I think it's working on it. Okay, so now we're going to add the third egg. Let me see. Becky, it's nice to know it isn't just... Oh, yeah, no. It's definitely not just middle schoolers. I think I've hit my peak at struggling right now. And I'm... How old am I? 28. I almost said 27. That would have been wrong. Getting closer to 30, and I don't like it. All right, so I've got the third egg in. Mixing it in, just kind of folding it in with the dough, making sure that everything's getting mixed well and everything's going to be consistent, hopefully. So I think I just learned something. Always follow the recipe, because I bet you money, what I didn't think of, oil might take longer to heat than water does. So we're going to mix the dough and hope that a miracle happens and the oil just starts to bubble and is ready. Or maybe it doesn't have to bubble. Maybe it's just hot. See, I'm an ignoramus, you guys. I own it. But isn't that what you want to see sometimes? Just someone that's on your level. If not lower, because I might be lower. So I've just got a little bit left that needs to magically fold in here. And then we might be ready to go. And again, my computer went to sleep on me, and I want to know exactly how this goes. One at a time. Add more flour or water to keep it at dough consistency if needed. I think what do you all think? I'm going to take a poll. That looks like dough consistency to me, right? Anyone? Thoughts? So, mix it just a little bit more. All right, and then begin spooning teaspoon-sized balls of the dough, drop in the oil, let fry on each side until golden brown. So now the fun part. And once they are golden brown, you'll remove and place on a paper towel to soak extra oil. So while that is still heating, I'm going to go ahead and lay some paper towels down. That way I have somewhere to put them. On my shades of stuff. I did 2 layers of paper towels, just because it's probably going to have a lot of oil. So now we've got our dough ready. We've got the oil on medium heat. We can deal with the powdered sugar once we've gotten them out. So what do I need? I need a spoon. So I don't have another slotted spoon, so we're just going to use a regular spoon, and we'll just be careful with the oil. So put it there for a second. I'm going to use a normal spoon, table size spoon. And we're just going to, so let's see. Begin spooning teaspoon-sized balls of the dough. Drop in oil. So that was not smart. Okay. So we're going to use the spoon, and we're just going to start gently dropping dough into the oil. Again, safety first, use a cooking partner. I'm going to drop one in, and then I'll show you. Hopefully it goes as planned. But hey, well, that's not terrible. Look at that. So it's just down there starting to fry. I feel like that's how it's supposed to look, you guys. Not made homemade donuts in a while either. So we're just gonna take another spoonful here. Just little, might actually probably do a little bit bigger of a spoon full to get it in there. But we've got some beignets going. And I'll show you once I get a couple in there. Now these are probably not going to be pretty circles, just because I probably could have added more flour to be able to handle it and shape them. But I'm just gonna drop them in because they're fine. They're just not going to be pretty. But they'll taste good, hopefully. Let's not speak too soon, as we learned with the spazel. Okay, so I dropped a couple in there. So they're starting to cook. So we'll give it a couple minutes and let them cook. And I'll turn them over once they're golden brown. And then we'll get them out. And what we'll do then is hopefully, once those are done, I'm not going to put any more in. I'll probably have to finish making that after this video. That way I don't keep you all, because I don't even know how long we've been doing this. But we're having fun and we're learning. So I don't want to hold you all up. I know everyone's got stuff to do. So they're starting to float. And again, we're looking for a golden brown. I'm just going to kind of flip them. Well, maybe. There we go. Flip that way. Do what you gotta do. And you may want to come up with some kind of system to know which ones you flipped. Which, if that one will cooperate with me and get it flipped. It's so stubborn. There we go. Now I flipped that one. I was trying to go in a certain order, but then when I struggled with the one, it started to get away from me. But, so they look really good, and I'm really nervous because I don't want to jinx it. So I'm gonna let them cook, and because it doesn't say again, it just says till golden brown. Why? I'm one of those people. I like measurements. You gotta tell me how long I need to set a timer for, so I know when it's done. But it just says till golden brown. Just like the Spätzle said, till it floats to the top. So I guess while those are cooking for a second, I'll go ahead and I have a bag of powdered sugar. So I'm just gonna cut one side of it open and pour some into a bowl. That way I'm not making a ginormous mess. That, you know, I've already made. Once upon a time, I had kitchen scissors. Apparently they no longer exist. So, that might be a thing. Really don't want to do that. Dishwasher? Alright. I'm just gonna have to hope I don't get powdered sugar everywhere, because I'm gonna have to rip it open, you guys. Okay, there we go. Yay, I didn't make enough. Alright, so now I've got the corner tore off. I'll pour some in the little bowl. Yikes. That way I can get the rest of the powdered sugar away. Let's see how they're... Let's check on our beignets. Oh yeah, we gotta flip them. Let's flip them one more time, because they are looking... They're looking better. So again, I started on one side, and I'm trying to flip this one, but it's a booger and it won't flip. There we go. So I flipped those three. I think I might give them one more minute, but those look golden brown to me. Right? So we'll give it another second, and then we'll take those out, and we'll let them sit on the paper towels for a second, let some of the oil get off of them, and then we'll powder them with powdered sugar, and then they'll be done. And we'll have delicious beignets. So, if anything, we've only had one fail today, you guys. The Spätzle. At least I didn't try to make schnitzel. If I would have messed that up, I think I would be so sad. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay. Here's the first one. So I'm just going to plop him right there with a paper towel. I'm just going to take them all out one by one. I wish I had another slotted. I can't speak. I don't know about any of you other moms out there, but I feel like every time that I get pregnant, I can't speak. My brain just fails me. Just like, words don't make sense. I think I said something the other day. Definitely did not come out. The words were all kinds of wrong. It's like, okay. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, they look so pretty. I'm so excited. Now I just hope they taste as good. Let me get the last one out. Oh my gosh. Guys, look. They look so pretty. Let's see. Okay. Remove, place on paper towel to soak extra oil. Add powdered sugar to your liking. So, do I let them cool for a minute? Do we just go ahead and add the sugar? Anyone have an opinion? What do you want to do? I think we're just gonna go ahead and add the sugar. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some powdered sugar on there. And maybe once they're cool enough, I'll give one to my son and see how he likes them. I'm hoping he likes. Like, mommy can make one thing. Woo! I'm wondering if I should have almost just put them in the bowl of powdered sugar. Because see, it feels like the powdered sugar is not, like it's falling off, really. It's like clumping. But I'm sure they're really hot. I'm just going to throw one in. Oh yeah, that's definitely a better way to go. If you like powdered sugar and are not afraid, just throw it in the thing. So I'll show you what I just did. I just tossed one in there and it is covered. Except for that spot where I had to grab it. So I'm just throwing them in the bowl. They are still very warm, so just be careful if you're doing that. But that seems to be the best way. I don't even know, was I showing you my sink or the bowls? So, I'm so excited to try these, you guys. I'm actually really, I was about to say impressed with myself. I'm very proud of myself right now. So, they're covered in powdered sugar now. I'm gonna let them cool for a few minutes. And, I might even, and who doesn't like, Ruby, right? Who doesn't like powdered sugar? So what I'll do, so I'm not keeping you all. So that's what they look like right now. So they're all covered in powdered sugar. You can see that it's still hot. It's melting on there. So I can let you all go since you've been with me almost an hour. Thank you for your patience during the Spätzle fiasco. If anyone does it correctly, Rebecca, I am going to post, Lynn, you're so smart. In New Orleans, they use a sifter to put on the powdered sugar. I don't have a sifter, sadly, but otherwise that would have been an excellent idea. And it's very smart just because it helps break up the powdered sugar and it's not so clumpy. So I am going to post the recipes in the comments, and I'm going to post a picture of, once these are cooled, me and my son eating these, because I think he's really going to like them. So thank you all for joining me today. Thank you again for your patience through Spätzle craziness. And just remember, be safe with the hot oil in the stove. Post pictures, comments when you make them. I'm interested to see how it goes. And thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Bye, you guys.